and welcome back to Pseudo Gameplay TV for another character analysis. Today we are having a look at the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, none other than Peter Quill, Star-Lord himself. Now, a couple of things about Star-Lord that are pretty consistent with his appearances in the MCU is, first off, he is a human Spartoid hybrid, where his physiology grants him enhanced strength, durability, and longevity. Take that as you will. In addition to that, he also has some strength augmentation via his advanced suit. Doesn't appear to be super advanced, but of course there are some enhancements for it where he spends time in the vacuum of space. Additionally, he is a master tactician and field commander, an expert hand-to-hand combatant, an master martial artist, a skilled marksman, is an expert user of various kinds of alien technology and weapons. He does obtain flight via some jet boots, which you can kind of see down there, and will be showcased at a later point in this video. And he also utilizes dual element guns and a helmet, providing his survivability in space. And this is he formerly used a universal translator implant in his neck, which appears to have been retconned in terms of the helmet, if not something that he continues to use, which would explain how he's able to communicate with Groot and other aliens that he encounters. However, that's not as important, just an interesting little tidbit. But let's have a look at the different attacks that he has, which actually makes reference to those dual element guns. So his 4 standard attacks that you see here is he has Easy Breezy, where a temporary whirlwind is created. His second attack that he has access to is called Burning It Up, where he shoots flames in the direction that the character is facing, similar to the flames of the Faltine that we saw with Doctor Strange. His attack number 4, Amped Up, shoots electrically charged shots in all directions and damages enemies in the radius, which has its uses as well. And the 4th attack is Totally Chill, which shoots ice bullets into the sky, causing them to hail down in front of the character. And I expect this to be a little bit more along the lines of what we saw with some of Hawkeye's attacks. Of course, he's got the ultimate attack, which we'll showcase as well. But in terms of setup, we do have his personal synergies maxed out. You'll notice over there on the right, there is the little energy symbol with the 8%. That is very beneficial for Star-Lord, where his attacks are very much energy-based. So here we have Rocket and Groot along, as they provide quite synergies with Star-Lord. We have Storm along for the Force of Nature's synergy, and Doctor Strange is here due to his leadership synergy that he has with Star-Lord. But enough chat about what he looks like and what his controls are named. Let's go ahead and showcase what they look like and how they're used in actual combat. Alright, so first off, we'll want to showcase just kind of his standard attacks, which it is important to note that his standard attacks do take place with his element guns, and they do have an element of auto-target to them, which is useful. They do not increase in damage the closer you get to your enemy. Now, his heavy attack is a charge shot, and this does have some knockdown to it, so keep that in mind. And then he has a jump, and his double jump showcases those rocket boots aforementioned. And he can actually kind of mash for his aerial attack, downwards falling flurry of shots. Now, in terms of his actual ability attacks, those would be Easy Breezy, which is this one, where a small little whirlwind is created right in the center of the room. And I believe it does kind of suck enemies in if they get too close to it. However, it is a decently small area of effect, so nothing super impressive. In terms of his second attack, the Burning It Up, this one you can't hold on to like you can with Doctor Strange. But you will notice that if you ignite one of your opponents, they will continue to take some damage while they are still lit on fire. So that can be quite useful. In terms of his third ability, the amping it up, you do want to try and locate yourself in the midst of people where possible, as he will spin around, and the lower enemy, or the lower typed opponents, will actually kind of get staggered out and incapacitated for a short period of time. Which can be kind of nice for clearing out some of the grunts in the group. And then his fourth ability is the totally chill, where you saw the kind of icicles that come raining down from that. And it's kind of directly in front of him, so do keep that in mind. And that was Storm kind of pitching in and lending a hand. Alright, now that we're back up to full here, let's go ahead and showcase his ultimate attack. So you'll notice that there is an area of effect that takes place, and it does kind of depend, from my experience, it does kind of depend as to what ability he'd been using recently. So let's see if we can charge that back up. And get another showcase here. Alright, we're just closing out on this. So Star-Lord is an interesting mix, I suppose, between melee and ranged attacks. So you do want to kind of keep an eye on that as you go about using him. Looks like Groot's down. And he does have some interesting callouts as he makes his attacks as well. Well, not an opportunity to showcase his ultimate attack again. I do believe that previously when I've used him, and I've only been using the Easy Breezy ability, since Star-Lord is one of the first characters that you get, that ultimate attack is more of a whirlwind, so do keep that in mind as you are using his elemental attacks and his overall attack. He's quite useful. I've found a couple of other characters to be a little bit more useful, but everyone has their own preferences, so do keep that in mind. He's a very expert, or has a lot of expertise in maneuvering around the battlefield, especially if the terrain's uneven or dangerous. So use that to your advantage where you will as well. We'll be back in a couple of days with another character analysis, but we will have videos of other content coming out in between then, so make sure you're subscribed to never miss anything. Storm will be our next character analysis, so make sure you're subscribed to not miss that one. Until then, thanks again for tuning in, and you have a great rest of your day.